welcome back, my students, to a brand new episode of Comic Class, and I'm a huge fan of the channel Thinking Critical. It's a comic channel, and the host is named Wes, and I really enjoy his takes. I don't always agree with his opinions, but I had watched his newest video being about Superman not being woke, and I actually had made a video about Superman not being an SJW about a month ago, I think, or 2 months ago. And I thought it was pretty interesting that Wes was talking about this, but Wes made a point talking about the woke agenda in comics, especially DC comics, in the last few months, that has been very obvious to a lot of comic book fans that love DC comics, that there's been a shift and there's been this type of agenda to try to get all the OG legacy characters out of the way to push these more progressive characters, in our face, basically, and make them the standard, make them the leader, basically, the forefront, the headliner, as you could say, of the DC Comics universe. And a lot of people just are not liking it. And if DC themselves think this is going to help sales, it's not. And it could possibly kill off DC if enough people stop reading these comics, because people read DC Comics for Bruce Wayne, Batman. We read it for Clark Kent, Superman, Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, Barry Allen, Flash, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, Cyborg, Victor Stone, Cyborg. These are the characters we want to see. And I'm not saying, and I want to make this very clear, I am not against them making new progressive characters. That's completely fine, and I'm totally cool with that, as a lot of people are. But there cannot be any denying that the whole Superman being sent to another world, world, being sent off planet, and Batman leaving Gotham after this Fear State event/story arc, it's very clear what DC's doing. And I think no one can deny it, despite if you're a fan of this new progressive leaning that they're doing in DC Comics, you cannot deny that this is on purpose, and it is flat out an agenda. And it's something that I wanted to say a few months back, because it is something I had noticed, but I was like, maybe I'm overreacting, maybe this isn't really a big deal, maybe, this isn't really going to be happening. But a lot of rumors and a lot of things people have said that will happen actually have been happening and are happening right now as we speak in the DC Comics universe. And this is not looking good, guys. DC Comics / Marvel Comics / the American comic book industry cannot afford to be doing stuff that's going to divide the fan bases or in the community even more. It's hurting sales. It's going to hurt the bottom line of DC Comics, because they're really the ones we're focusing on today. And it's just very sad that we have allowed people to get into this industry and to lead this industry and straight up kind of like alienate the majority of their fandom. It makes no sense. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. No one is against progressive people and for people that want these type of things in comics. It's completely fine. I think there's a place in comics for everybody, of any religion, of any race. It doesn't matter. Comics should be for everyone. That's completely fine. But what's not fine is taking the minority of people and trying to tell the majority of people that they're wrong for liking what they like, and that they're somehow racist, sexist, xenophobic, just tons of names that they like to call people, and because they're not the majority. That makes no sense. And there's just a huge decline in readership and people wanting to buy these books, because you're alienating the majority of fans to please a minority that, again, do not all buy comic books. So this is hurting the comic book industry, and why I wanted to make this video. Here's what Wes said at the end of that Superman video about how there's a woke agenda and they are slowly trying to get rid of all of our legacy characters. If you're paying attention, this is not a coincidence. It's an agenda. It's straight up being pushed by the higher ups, which I guess I had watched a video saying that one of the higher ups that had just gotten hired is into progressivism and wokeism and stuff like that. So it makes complete sense that this is happening at this moment in this year. And as Wes, I'm not sure if it was Wes or another video I was watching, as whoever said it, that there's a difference between having a belief in something and forcing that on other people. You can believe in wokeism and stuff like that, but you shouldn't force that on every character just because that's how you believe. And it really is just ruining the comic book industry. Like, just straight up, it's ruining these books for people that are fans of these OG legacy characters. As I said in the beginning, there is a place for these characters. I am completely fine if you want to make a whole branch of comics focus on, this minority type stuff. That's completely fine. There's a room for everybody. But you cannot shove out the majority of what people have followed and have loved and fell in love with these characters and just tell us that we're wrong for wanting that and that you're somehow all these different labels. We're not wrong. The people that have fell in love with these characters, they fell in love with them for a reason. It isn't racist, it's not xenophobic, it's not sexism and stuff like this. It's straight up just love for the characters. And despite how much I hate about the whole manga rules argument that people like to put out there, the facts are that manga is selling, and it's selling because it's not using these things, and they're not trying to replace the stuff people love to push stuff that they think is right. They're not doing that. They might have stuff like that. Like I said, Japan's a whole other country from America, and I don't think we should be comparing them like that because they have different cultures and different acceptance of different things. So it's not really exactly one-to-one, but the point is they're not doing what America is doing, and it's definitely succeeding in America, proving that the majority does not want what these people are pushing as, these minority things. People do not want them, not the majority of people. And I think this is a massive problem in America, in the comic book industry, and that our higher ups need to either get cleaned out and get better management that will take care of these comic book characters and understand that people love them for a reason. And like I said, that would understand that you can have these characters that they want to make and push, but put them in a branch. That way, for people that want that can go read that, but we can still have our legacy characters. There's no need to be pushing out legacy characters to promote new ones. That's not needed. They can be improved. They can be great characters on their own, as proven by what is happening with manga in America. That's just a fact. It's popular. New characters can be popular. TV shows do it. Manga's doing it. Movies do it. There are awesome new characters being made every year that are very popular and catch the mainstream eye. There is no excuse for us to be getting rid of legacy characters to push progressive new heroes. That's not needed. We can have both of them. Everyone can be happy, and they need to stop attacking people for wanting what they like. And it's just very annoying that I'm seeing this happen with these legacy characters. Like I said, when I heard that Bruce Wayne was leaving Gotham, I just got mad. Because it's very clear what they're doing. And like I said, I didn't want to believe that this was happening. But the more stuff has been confirmed, especially with the John Kent thing, that was a rumor about like a month ago, got confirmed just recently. It's very clear there's an agenda. There is no arguing it. It's a straight up agenda. Because you're literally pushing out something that you don't believe in and pushing something that you believe in basically in people's faces. And it's just stupid. They should have both characters. You should be able to pick what you like to read. And there should be no argument on your, a certain label because you prefer a certain thing. That's just not how these things work. And if you truly believe that people are horrible people for just liking what they like and all it is just entertainment, then I don't know what to tell you. That's just how it is. And it's been like this since history began. People are gonna like what they like. You cannot just change history and try to tell people that they're wrong for liking what they like. You cannot do that. Like I said, if you're a fan of these changes, and you think it's a good idea, that's fine. But you cannot be telling people that are getting mad that they shouldn't be getting mad over their legacy characters being sidelined. They are the main characters of the DC universe. The DC universe, as it has always been since it began, will never move on from these characters. That's just how it is. American comics have always been this way. We will always have Superman. We will always have Batman. We will always have Wonder Woman, The Flash, Cyborg, Green Lantern, the Justice League in general will be there. Martian Manhunter. These are unforgettable and forever characters that will always have stories coming out, and that's completely fine. They aren't meant to be moved on as DC is trying to do, and especially they're not supposed to be centered around one specific set of people, which is progressivism / wokeism. That's not actual diversity, and these are things that really need to be addressed, and it's getting ridiculous in the American comic book industry, and it needs to be fixed soon, or we're going to see a massive decline and a massive reset of the comic book industry. We're going to head to a crash if these things do not change. We need to change course, and we need to find a way for everyone to get what they want, and stop demonizing people for liking what they like. There needs to be a branch for all different types of readers. Like I said, manga seems to be doing it. I'm not sure if they've ever dived into that type of branch. I believe they have with Yaoi and Yuri, which is fine because that's for the people that are into that stuff. And there's probably other genres of manga as well, but they don't get rid of shonen manga, which is the most popular in America, and that is selling in America, and that's what people love. That's what superhero comics represent, and without superhero comics itself would not be what it is today. You have it, and you owe it to superhero comics, the traditional superhero, for what we have today, and the progress and the chances we have today. And it's ridiculous, it's disrespectful to see the stuff that people like Tom Taylor are saying about the OG Superman, trying to paint it as Superman doesn't represent all of us, which definitely will be a video in and of itself. I definitely need to make a video talking about Superman and what he represents, because a lot of people keep twisting it, and it's ridiculous, it's disgusting, and I know this comes off as me being really mad, but I am, guys, because I felt like when I heard Wes saying this stuff, it felt like that's what I've been thinking for months. I try not making a video about it, so I'm like, maybe I'm overreacting, but it's just a fact. These things are happening in the comics. It's dividing the fan base, and it's completely unnecessary when you can easily be making all these characters in their own branch. And I'm not saying they can't exist with the main continuity. That is not what I'm saying. But they should have their own comics and still have the main heroes doing their thing, not being sent off planet, not being sent out of their cities and stuff like that, like what's happening with Superman and Batman, but just straight up continuing their stories and also letting their kids or sidekicks or whatever mantle holders do what they need to do in their stories. You can build a great grand universe, as DC has shown us over decades, and adding new characters without breaking what people love and the continuity and stuff like that, and just giving people what they love. And I don't know, overall I'm kind of mad about this. I'm glad someone like Wes pointed it out. He has a pretty decent amount of a fan base. I love his channel. Like I said, I don't agree with everything Wes says, but I felt like he hit the nail on the head with this. There definitely is an agenda. It needs to be addressed, and we need to stop this from continuing. It's gone on long enough, guys. I got into comics about 2 years ago, / almost 3, and before that, I would watch comic book videos, and I knew that, with the Marvel Now and stuff like that, this stuff has been going on for, I think, almost a decade. It's time to stop. There needs to be a solution, and we need to come together as a comic community and find a common ground and understand that we can all have comics that we love. There is no need to remove traditional values which people adore and still love in order to push progressive new ones, when you can have both have their own comic book series and runs and stuff like that. There's no need for replacements of these series and runs, and it's just very annoying, and I don't really have nothing else to say. Overall, DC, they either course correct or this is going to go down bad. That's just flat out what's going to happen. If you looked at the sales numbers of when they do this type of stuff, it never succeeds. And the fact that they did something drastic recently with the whole John Kent thing is not going to be a good thing in the long run for their sales, because he's legit the new Superman. And if he is not selling, that's horrible for DC. The same thing goes for Batman. When Bruce Wayne leaves, there's going to be a massive drop in sales, because people want to read Bruce Wayne Batman. We care about the characters, the legacy characters. You cannot get rid of them and try to tell us that we're wrong and that you should like the new progressive hip new woke characters, because we don't. At least people like me, we don't. And like I said before in the video, if you're a fan of these things, I'm completely fine with that. Everyone has a right to their opinion. Everyone has a seat at the table in the comic book world. That's just a fact. Everyone deserves to be represented and explored in comic books. No one should be excluded. But we have to find a solution, because this is not working and it's just getting people mad. It's dividing the community, and if the community is gonna survive and we're gonna be a great, strong superhero, especially comics, if they're gonna survive, we have to solve this problem and solve it fast, because it's gone on long enough and we just need to stop. And that's all I can say, guys. Overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know I don't usually make rant videos where I'm mad in that, because I really don't find enjoyment in that. I call it comic class. I like to be classy with my videos and try to keep, no swearing, stuff like that, and just talk about comics and have fun with, going through comic book runs and reviewing the volumes and stuff like that, the trade paperbacks. That's what I love to do. But this needs to be addressed. It's something that needs to be dealt with, because it's getting old, having to get mad at constant changes, constant, pushing it in your face that you're a bad person if you believe a certain way. It needs to stop. And like I said, hopefully there's an answer soon. Hopefully the comic book industry gets a straight clean out of management, gets people that are competent to know that you have to separate these things, because these are people with different ideologies, and understand that there's a way that we can all be happy without, constantly having things that are just getting people mad on both sides. Because it's just dumb. No one's having fun. It's just people arguing all the time. And it's all unnecessary because of these people, and not understanding you have to separate these things and not try to erase one set of characters because you think yours are better and more woke and progressive and, like I said, woke basically. But what is your thoughts? Are you a fan of woke characters? Do you think the fact that they're trying to erase, or at least it seems like they're trying to erase legacy characters to push more woke ones, horrible? And do you think us even using the word woke is kind of like a trigger factor for a lot of people? I've noticed that gets some people triggered somehow, even though that's what they like to call themselves. But I don't know. Like I said, I believe there's a place at the table for everyone. I hope you guys believe the same thing. I hope we can agree that everyone should be represented, but there's a way to do it, and how they're doing it right now, especially DC Comics, is not the way to do it. But that's going to be all, guys. Leave a comment down below. What's your thoughts on woke comic characters / comics? Do you think they should have their own branch of comic books, and would that solve the problem for you guys if they stop trying to erase / move out of the way legacy characters and characters that you originally loved? And what do you think of the whole new DC angle that they're going? Are you going to be reading the next Batman, bisexual Jonathan Kent and stuff like this? I believe Wonder Woman she's not even Amazonian anymore, or something like that. Are you a fan of these changes? And are you going to be reading that? Because I personally am not. Like I said, I did read the one-shot, or the first issue of the next Batman. I thought it was okay, but I like Bruce Wayne. And I'm not going to support a character that is legit trying to be pushed to me to be a better Batman, when we all know that Batman is Bruce Wayne. He will always be Batman. He's the OG. But, overall, that's it. Leave a comment down below what you think of all this. Like I said, if you're a fan of this stuff, completely fine. And I hope you guys can have a civil conversation underneath. Please don't be toxic. Don't be attacking people and stuff like that. Respect people's opinions. This is just my rant. It's what I think needs to happen. And I'm just tired of having to deal with drama in the comic book community, it seems like every week or two. When we should be enjoying ourselves and having fun. And just being a strong community like we see, kind of in the manga community. Manga community has some toxic people, but the manga / anime community has a lot of fun. And I feel like we could have that if we stop with all this, woke versus non-woke politics with our comments. And it's just really annoying. And the politic argument of wokeism versus non-wokeism just gets tiring week after week. But that's for me, all, guys. Until next video, God bless you. Until next lesson, keep on reading those comics.